As you heard, my life's work has been to pursue conflict, or at least to navigate it more effectively. Come back with me to 1994. I'm 14 years old, and I live with my family in Amman, Jordan. I have grown up with stories about this little tiny town called Qubab. It's a place that has a special place in my father's heart. He tells me about these rolling green hills, about fruit that when it comes in season, he always eats too much and it makes his belly ache. It has this special place, and yet it has immense pain because he can't share Qubab with us. He can only take us there in stories. But then Jordan and Israel sign a peace agreement. And all of a sudden, there's a trip that I can go on to go see part of this land that's so dear. And so I leap at the opportunity. I sign up for the trip, and a week beforehand, I'm at my friend's home, and we're talking through the details when her dad interrupts. And he says, "Traitor." He was looking right at me. But I didn't know what I had done to upset him. I asked my friend after he left, and she said, "My uncle and my grandfather were killed by the Jews. He doesn't think that you should go." I didn't know what to do. This place that meant so much, my father's homeland, would be seen as a betrayal. Was I willing to hurt the people that I loved the most? That day, my father picked me up, and I told him what happened. He wiped the tears off my face, and he told me not to worry about what people think. And then he told me a story about a little boy who had lots of energy and would run around. And one day he hit this glass cabinet, and it came crashing down on him. Shards of glass pierced his skull. His mother picked him up and raced him to the nearest hospital, only to hear from doctors who told her that he was already dead, that the glass had pierced the skull and there was no possible way he could live through the infection. But she couldn't give up. She just kept asking questions. She knew that there had to be another way. Eventually, a nurse pulled her aside and told her about a woman on the beach. Maybe she could help. So the mother took her little boy and raced to the beach and found this woman, a woman who agreed to heal the baby boy, but her condition was harsh. The mother had to give up her child because the woman wanted a child of her own. Stuck, the mom agreed. It was her only chance to save her little baby. So she left. Day after day, this woman would go to the beach and dig a big hole in the sand, put the child in feet first, and then cover him, restraining his arms. He would be covered with sand up to his neck. Because if he flailed, if he moved, he might cause greater harm, as she was trying to pull the glass out of his head. That's when my dad took my hand, and he placed it on his head. Then he told me that that little boy was him. That my grandmother didn't have the courage to leave him, that she came back. Because love is stronger than what people think. When she went back, she was vulnerable. She appealed to this woman who had healed her child, appealing as the mother who birthed and raised him to the mother who healed him. And she asked, "I'm broken. What can I do? I need my baby boy back." The woman could have said no. But she was generous. She couldn't keep a child away from his mother. Think about a recent conflict that you had. Maybe it's with a coworker, a friend, a mother, a neighbor. Low stakes, high stakes, what was your reaction? For some people, we avoid. Others, we charge. Some barter, some analyze. What did you do? How did you respond? What if instead you paused and you asked a question? You were curious. That has been my life's work. Helping people uncover the potential of curiosity so that when they're in that charged moment, they take a moment and they think and ask what it is that they really, really want. Because ultimately, tension clouds our judgment. It doesn't allow us to get to a deeper place, the deeper place of where we're really responding. At NewGround, we treat conflict as natural and inevitable. It's just part of human relationship, neither good nor bad, rather an opportunity to get to a deeper place. One of our change makers walked into a mosque. She was visibly shaking. A facilitator went up to her and started asking questions. He asked, "Why are you uncomfortable? What can I do? What is it that you're scared of?" They didn't know each other, but together they started to unpack her fear and her anxiety. And it turns out that she was scared to be in a mosque because she had never been in that space ever before. Not only was she able to overcome her fear with curiosity, she then went on to help organize a full day of prayer that went across Los Angeles, Muslims and Jews standing together, inspiring each other and inspiring the world. In another case, we had a Palestinian participant describe what it was like to live under occupation, to lose land, to lose a friend. He got to a deep place. And then a Jewish participant shared about how she had walked into a cafeteria, finished her meal, and walked out, only to have it blown up by a suicide bomber. And she asked, "What did I do?" Their pain was both real, different, and yet important. Pain that we only were able to uncover through curiosity. So the next time you're feeling triggered, the next time you have that fear, that anger, whatever emotion comes up to you, I hope you take a beat and you pause. You ask a question, because curiosity works. It takes courage, and it works. I look at my own kids, and I think, what's the future that they're going to have? Will I have the power to have hope in the absence of hope? Will I have the power to be able to see past that moment, and in that moment of despair, pull out that hope? This is my eldest. He's 4. He's about the same age that my dad was when my grandmother rushed him from the hospital to the healer. I have no choice. Their future has to be better. In 1994, I made that trip. I got on that bus despite being called a traitor. But then my dad went to sleep the year afterwards, and he never woke up. In 2005, my siblings finally crossed the border again, and we made it. We made it to Khubab, that little tiny Palestinian town that mattered so much to him. It was green, it was beautiful. I remember the wind against my face, the sand in my fingers. It was more beautiful than he described. Now I'd like to share a prayer with you, a Muslim and Jewish prayer. I have asked two friends, Andrea Haaretz, who will share from the Tanakh, the Jewish Bible, and Ahlam Shalabi, who will share from the Quran, the Muslim text.
From the Hebrew book of Psalms. Though I walk through a valley of deepest darkness, I fear no harm, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You set before me a table in the face of my enemy. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over.
From the Quran, Surah 41, verse 34, nor can goodness and evil be equal. Repel evil with what is better. Then will he between whom and thee was hatred become as it were thy friend and intimate.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولا تستوي الحسنة ولا السيئة دافع بالتي هي أحسن هما ينخموني كأروخ لفني شلخان نجد سرري تشعت بشمن راشي خاصي رفايا.
Thank you.